Ms. Davis, you're in court today hoping to right your wrongs. When your 2-year-old son, Javion, was born, he had 4 possible fathers, including the defendant. You hope today's result help you find your son's father and heal your broken heart. And Mr. Smith, you argue that Ms. Davis actually told you you were not her son's father. And you say you just had a brief sexual relationship and you don't want to take care of a child that isn't yours.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Davis, please explain to the court, why is this result today so important for you and for your son?
I mean, Your Honor, as a child, I had a very bad childhood. I went through 13 different foster homes. I've been to 4 different group homes, and I didn't grow up knowing who my father was until I was 18 years old. And my son's only 2. I mean, it's not his fault that I decided to make, well, practically a hoe of myself when I was of that age. Sorry.
It's okay. Take your time.
And it just means everything to me for my son to know who his father is. I mean, my son's my world. I would do anything for that little boy.
All right. Mr. Smith, I just want to ask you, you did have a relationship with Ms. Davis. You acknowledge that, am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so why are you doubtful that you potentially could be Javion's father?
Because she said I wasn't, Your Honor.
She told you you weren't.
Yes. I asked if I could be the father, and she told me no, Your Honor.
Now, Ms. Davis, we said that there were 4 potential fathers.
Yes, Your Honor.
I need you to walk me through that.
There are 4 potential fathers, and each of the individual men I actually met on a chat line within days upon each other. I made a calendar.
Okay. Jerome, let me have that evidence, please. Thank you. So this calendar shows that you were intimate with potential father number 1 on the 12th of November.
That would be my ex-boyfriend.
So this is a guy you'd been in a relationship with?
Yes, Your Honor.
For how long?
Maybe a steady year.
So you had sex with him on the 12th and the 13th.
Yes, Your Honor.
And then in orange, potential father number 2 we see is Mr. Smith, the defendant.
Yes, Your Honor.
Now tell me about that relationship.
I don't think I could call it a relationship. We met on the chat line. I hung out with him, and I spent a week with Mr. Smith. It's actually the time around that I conceived my son. It was mainly just sexual.
It looks like there was a lot there. Okay. Now, Mr. Smith, she comes to see you, and you all basically spend a solid week being intimate. Were you using protection?
No, Your Honor. It was just a fling or, a holiday fling,
It was a holiday fling.
Yes, Your Honor.
So when she went home, did you try to stay in touch with her?
No, I think she changed her number on me, Your Honor.
Oh, really?
Yes, Your Honor.
You did?
Yes.
Oh, well, explain. So you get back home and you go back to your ex?
After that week with Mr. Smith, yeah, I did go back to my ex. It wasn't satisfactory, so I didn't really feel the need to go back.
It wasn't satisfactory?
No, Your Honor.
I'm gonna leave that alone. So the man in blue, potential father number 3, who's that?
Another man which I was intimate with only once.
Where'd you meet him?
Same place I met Mr. Smith, on a chat line.
So that was just a one-night fling.
Yeah, we talked for a few weeks, but we only hooked up once.
And then 2 days later, potential father number 4. Who is that?
Potential father number 4, Your Honor, he was a one-night stand. I don't remember his name.
You don't even remember his name. Do you know where he is?
No, Your Honor.
And now, after having this experience that you voluntarily participated in, you're not feeling too good about yourself.
No, I mean, I know I made mistakes, Your Honor, but I don't consider my son a mistake.
And that's a good thing. But you understand, this type of sexual behavior is what lands you here in this courtroom.
Yes, Your Honor.
and you need to change that behavior. You understand that, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Take me to the point where you find out you're pregnant.
When I found out I was pregnant, I was just randomly thinking to myself that, you know, I haven't had my period in almost 2 months. I had told my then boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend.
At that time, did you remember that you had slept with all of these men
Yes, Your
in
Honor.
such a close proximity?
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
so did you have any idea who your child's father was when you found out you were pregnant?
No, Your Honor.
If you want more episodes of Paternity Court, make sure to subscribe and click on the notification bell. What did you do? Go about just calling each one? Did you notify any of them?
No, Your Honor. The then boyfriend I was with, I had actually told him, you know, there's a very good chance that this baby I'm pregnant with is not your baby.
So, and that's the man that's in green,
Yes, Your Honor.
the boyfriend, now ex-boyfriend.
Yes,
He
Your Honor.
said it's not mine.
I actually got number 1 and number 3 both tested, and they both came back negative.
So did him not being his child contribute to the relationship ending?
Yeah, it caused a lot of issues, and we just both called it quits.
And you also had potential father number 3 tested.
Earlier this year, I actually got him tested because that's when I finally got in touch with him.
So you basically, at this point, after it wasn't your ex-boyfriends, now you have to do a process of elimination. So now we're left with Mr. Smith and potential father number 4. Now I remember you saying with potential father number 4, you don't know where he is.
I don't even know his name, Your Honor.
You don't even know his name. Wow. So why are you convinced that Mr. Smith is your son's father?
Number 1 has been eliminated. Number 3 has been eliminated. And Mr. Smith is right there at around the conception date. So in my heart, like, I have a feeling that he is. I mean, I've always had the feeling. Honestly, I didn't want Mr. Smith to be my son's father.
Really?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, why?
Well, I mean, to be blunt, he's a mama's boy. He still lives at home with his mama. He don't work. He's very immature. He's like a boy himself.
If I'm such a mama's boy, then why she got me here? I'm such a mother's boy.
Have you ever asked Mr. Smith, has she ever asked you to take a test?
No, she haven't, Your Honor. She skipped me and went to them.
Excuse me,
I
Your
guess I
Honor.
was the last option, Your Honor.
But first you told him he was not.
Yes.
And now you'll see why don't think I'm the father, because that was kind of slutty if I think.
What is your feeling? Because she did not come to you first, that fuels your doubt that you're not the father? Because the truth is, if the calendar is true, you slept with her for a week or more right during the window of conception. So you have to acknowledge that, right?
Yes, Your Honor. But I still feel like he doesn't look like me or favor me whatsoever, Your Honor.
Have you met Javion?
Yes, I only met him once, Your Honor.
And what was your experience?
I felt kind of scared, Your Honor, because I felt like he didn't know me, and I felt like a total stranger, Your Honor.
Your Honor. May I say something, please?
Yes.
Why doesn't he know you? If you've told me yourself, because you said you felt it in your heart that he might be yours, why didn't you step up then? Your father passed away, okay?
Because of the other guys, all them other guys you slept with, and I'm the father, like, I think you just leaning on me, this would be a gold digger. Give me for my money or what I got.
need?
You want me to bounce some because the other guys don't want to be
I
there.
thought you didn't have nothing.
To her, I don't, but she don't know what I have, Your Honor.
So, what if she just wants to know who her child's father is after she admittedly made a lot of mistakes? Maybe she just wants to know for her child's sake and for her sake. Is that all right? Don't you want to know?
Yes, Your Honor. I want to know because I never had a father because he died when I was 3 years old of prostate cancer, Your
That
Honor.
should be your motivation
So
to
it
step
is
up.
important to you.
Yes, Your Honor.
And if it's determined that Javion is your son, I'm sure you want to be there for him.
Yes, Your Honor. I want to make up for the 2 years I missed.
2 years.
Yes, Your Honor.
Don't see that happening.
So how long have you known that you could be a possibility in terms of being the biological father?
After she told me, Your Honor, I was confused about it. Your
How
Honor.
long ago was that you told him, Miss Davis?
the first time or the second?
The first time?
The first time my son was around 5 months old that I told him he was a possibility.
When Javion was 5 months old?
Yes, Your Honor.
So it's been like a year and a half after that?
Yes, Your Honor.
And you've only seen him one time?
Yes, Your Honor.
But if you knew you were a possible father, you just didn't want to make any connection? What was it you didn't want to get?
No, Your Honor, it's because we live in different two cities and I don't drive, Your Honor.
Okay, so you had transportation issues. 2 different cities or 2 different states?
2 different cities.
Well, don't some buses run in between the 2 cities?
Yes, but they cost a lot, Your Honor.
So for a year and a half, you've known you may have a son, but you have not made your way to go see him? Except one time?
Yes, Your Honor.
And so for you, Ms. Davis, if you believe in your heart after your process of elimination that Mr. Smith is truly a possibility, have you made your way to bring your son to go see his father if his father couldn't make it?
Your Honor, just getting a hold of Mr. Smith is hard.
No, Your Honor.
He lives at his mama's house. Call his mother. You don't have that number?
I do.
So why is it so hard to get in touch with him?
He doesn't answer his phone.
Your
Half
Honor,
the time,
What
nobody
I'm
at the
trying to
house
get
answers
at
the
is,
phone.
what I'm trying to get at, we've had a 2-year mystery going on here. We got a baby boy that's 2 years old.
Your Honor.
And you all been in contact in the same state. I'm just trying to figure out, why hasn't this happened?
Your Honor, it's not hard to reach me because I always answer my phone. If I don't answer, she could send me a text message. That is not hard.
So what I'm trying to get at, Ms. Davis, is did you really think after the process of elimination, eliminating potential father number 1 and potential father number 3, did you really think Mr. Smith was the most credible option left? Or did you think maybe number 4 was it? And that's why you just really haven't been pressing him on trying to establish a relationship?
No, I'm very positive that Mr. Smith is the father. And with knowing that he is the father, I would actually like for him to be put on my son's birth certificate as listed as his father, because it actually does mean a lot to me.
And what is that?
This is my son's birth certificate.
Jerome, hand me that. Who's on the birth certificate now?
Me.
And no father listed?
No.
And I'm sure, you know, having gone through what you've been through in your life, as you talk about going to foster home, that has to hurt. You don't want that for your baby.
I want my son to have the closest to perfect life as he possibly can. But even after the results come back, Your Honor, I still don't see Mr. Smith stepping up. So me and my son will continue to live how we've lived, me taking care of him 110%.
I don't see how I won't step up. I already stepped up for my one child. I got a daughter that's 5, Your Honor, and I'm there in her life every day.
She lives in Cincinnati.
So you have a child that you do see and you do parent?
Yes, Your Honor.
And if, in fact, Javion ends up being your son, you're going to step up to the plate for him as
Your
well?
Honor. Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, this court is going to make sure you do so, because I'm sitting here still trying to figure out how 2 able-bodied grown people in the same state can sit up for 2 years with a baby not knowing who his father is and just not do something about it. I'm ready for the results. I don't want to wait any longer. And I don't want Javion to wait any longer. Thank you, Jerome.
You're welcome.
These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics and they read as follows. In the case of Davis v. Smith pertaining to 2-year-old Javion Davis, Mr. Smith, you Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Davis v. Smith pertaining to 2-year-old Javion Davis, Mr. Smith, you are not Javion's father.
I'm like so hurt, Your Honor.
You look crushed.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yeah, I can see that in your eyes. Because even though you consistently said, I doubt it, there's a disappointment that I see in your face.
Yes, Your Honor.
So we've been through potential fathers 1, 2, and 3. And you said the last guy, number 4, you used protection. Are there more? There's no easy way to ask that question, but it needs to be asked for Javion's sake. It shouldn't be no shame in your game right now. This is about the truth. Are there more?
No, Your Honor.
So without a shadow of a doubt, knowing what we know now, potential father number 4 would have to be Javion's father.
Yes, Your Honor.
But you don't know his name.
No, Your Honor. Only thing I know about him is that he lives in Columbus.
That's just sad. Mr. Smith,
Yes,
I commend you for coming to court today.
Yes, Your Honor.
And I wish you the best of luck. Ms. Boyer and Ms. Fields, you've both brought the defendant, Mr. Sandifer, to court today to prove that he is your biological father, but you each believe that you are his only daughter and the other is not. Am I correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Sandifer, you state you do not believe that either is your daughter, but actually hope that one is and one is not.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. I will start with you, Ms. Fields. Ms. Boyer, you may have a seat. So, Ms. Fields, start from the beginning.
About 2 years ago, I sent him a message on Facebook asking him if I could borrow some money, and he responded with, maybe I need to find my real dad, that he wasn't even my father.
That's not true. I was upset, Your Honor, at that point in time because she just kept on aggravating me about money, and that's the only time I've ever heard from her is when it was money.
But you've never done anything for me. With me...
What do you mean I have never done anything?
You've never
for you?
done
I carried you to the park, I carried you to the fairs.
When?
You
All I
don't
remember
all
is you
this?
staying
You were
gone.
such a small child,
All I
you don't
remember is you
remember a
staying
lot
gone.
of things.
Mr. Sandifer, so you said you had been there for her whole life.
No, ma'am, not her whole life.
So you've been there in what capacity?
I would say half of it.
And you acted as a father?
No, he did not. He did not raise me. My
I did the best I could as a father.
My grandparents raised me because my
All right, so
mother-
Mr. Sandifer,
they adopted you
Because I could not be financially supported.
I didn't know nothing about it.
Because you're not on my birth certificate. You didn't do anything for me,
That's
so
my
why?
case. I'm not on your birth certificate.
but
so
why?
Who is your father?
I don't know. I don't know. If you're not, I don't know. But I've been led to believe my whole life that you're my father. You introduced me as your child. Why change now?
Why do you have doubts, specifically?
For one reason, Your Honor, my name's not on her birth certificate. She doesn't have no comparisons to me or any of my family.
You are my father. You are my father. I don't compare to you because you were never around me.
I have doubts, young
Okay.
lady.
All right, tell me about your childhood, Ms. Fields.
Growing up, I was, him and my mother were married from the time I was 4 till about the time I was 9.
This hurts you. It's okay.
I was adopted to
Take
my
your time.
grandparents because my mother couldn't afford. She couldn't afford to take care of 3 children by herself. My grandparents stepped in to
that's
help
a lie
me.
right there.
Let her finish.
She
Mr.
couldn't. She was
Sandifer.
working at a bar in a burger place. She could not afford it. 3 children by herself. You didn't help.
Why
They-
should I help when I wasn't the father? I mean,
How did you know that you weren't the father? Why not get a
That's why
DNA
we're
test
here.
then?
That's
Why
why
not
we're
do
here.
it then if you had
didn't
help?
force it on me,
Why
did
not
you?
do it? How old
didn't
was I?
force-
You're the adult. I'm the child. How am I supposed to do this? You're the adult.
Why didn't you ask? Why didn't you
like
ask?
it.
Why don't you ask?
Ms. Fields, continue on, please. I'm listening.
My grandparents, they adopted me. They did everything they could for me. They took care of me. They did more than what they were supposed to do.
Yeah, and they pushed
Grandparents.
me out of the picture. That's why I
Because you
wasn't
were
on
never
that-
in the picture. How could they push you out of the picture when you were never there to begin with?
Samantha, then why do you call other men dads all the time? Your
I
mother's
was
married
with-
right now,
because
and
I
you're
call
calling him
I call
dad.
him dad because he raised me from the time I
Oh,
was
hockey
13.
girl, no, he didn't raise
He bought
you.
my senior
Then why do
picture.
you always come to me for money and not them if he's
I
your
go
dad?
to them. I go to them, but you're my father.
but
You're
you
supposed
always say
to
that
do
he's
for
come
me.
down
You are
to me.
supposed to do for me.
You'll
You are
help
my
me
father.
before they
Introduce
will.
me as your child, then I
That's
should
right.
get
You
what
know,
I need. I should
that's
get
what
what
I
I
was
deserve.
told,
You didn't do
and then
anything
I find out
for
that
the
you're
child.
not.
Family, ladies, gentlemen, let's settle down a little bit because I do want to understand this. Ms. Fields, your childhood.
When I was 13 years old, January, my grandmother passed away, and right after that, I lost my grandfather. On my grandfather's deathbed, he specifically asked my dad if he would take care of his girls, stating me and my mom. He said yes. If he wasn't my father, why would he?
Your mother found another man in her life, so why
And
did I
he's
need
took
to be
care
in
of
the
me,
picture?
so what does
He
it
has?
matter?
Okay,
He's
all
took care
right.
of me.
Okay, so Mr. Sandifer, did you date her mother? Did you have an intimate relationship
They
with
were
her mother?
married.
Yes, Your Honor. Then she come up pregnant, and I was always told by friends that Samantha was my child, but
You were
when the
told by her,
baby was
too.
born, I was there.
Now wait, this is what I'm trying to understand. You said you were at the hospital, and were you there because you thought you were about to have a baby with her mother?
I was there for a friend.
You weren't
Yes.
even at the hospital.
Oh, as a friend.
Oh, yes, I was, and your mother had some other guy that she was dating at that time, but he was there, and he said, oh, I got me a new daughter, I got me a new daughter.
I don't remember this. I don't remember.
Well, of course you did.
No,
You
wait,
was a
wait.
baby.
Yeah, you wouldn't remember that,
Right,
Mr.
right,
No.
right.
Mr. Sandifer,
Yeah,
there's
watch it.
another guy there.
Yes, Your Honor, there was.
And he was saying, I have another daughter, I have another daughter.
Yes, Your Honor.
Speaking about Miss Fields.
Yes, Your Honor.
My
So-
mother was good to you. You
So
stayed out
then
in
why
the
were
bar.
you there as a friend instead of as a potential or
Because
new
I
father?
didn't know if I was the father because she slept with so many different men.
So she slept with different men. You were the one that stayed in the bar looking for women. Every woman.
So
you
what?
Had,
And your mother was one of them.
She worked at a bar. She had 2 jobs to support
Well,
me and
she
my
hung out
sisters.
there afterward, too.
Okay, just because she hung out, does that mean she's sleeping with other people? You hang out at a bar, are you sleeping
Miss
with everybody in the
Fields?
bar?
If I get the chance.
He told the truth.
I guess he told that.
He's the womanizer.
Oh,
He's the
Miss
womanizer.
Fields. All your life you were told that Mr. Sandifer was your father.
Yes, Your Honor.
Your biological father.
Yes, Your Honor.
And were you ever told that it could be someone else?
Never. Not until I was 23 years old, and he told me that on a Facebook message.
Tell me about your relationship with Ms. Boyer.
We don't have a relationship. We don't have a relationship like sisters should. Y'all have a lot better relationship than me and you do.
Of course, because I fought custody for her and everything.
And you would have never done that if it wasn't for
How could I when you was adopted out
would have
from
never-
under me, Samantha?
You weren't there before I was adopted out from under you. When I was 9 years old, you could have done something.
What did you want me to do?
Act like a father.
I was
do what
there
you had to
for
do
you.
to get
There wasn't
custody
no
of your
other man
child.
in your
Do
life
what-
to be your father.
Do what you had to do to
I
get
took the
custody of your-
responsibility
Okay, you
to
didn't take
man up.
responsibility to man up when? When you were at the bar drinking?
I want to hear from Ms. Boyer. Please stand up, ma'am. Ms. Fields, you may take a seat. Thank you for your testimony.
You're
Ms. Boyer,
Yes, Your Honor.
explain to the court why you're here today exactly.
I'm here today to prove that Mr. Sandifer is my father.
I have proof otherwise, Your Honor.
You have proof that she is not your daughter.
My name's not on the birth certificate.
I'd like to see that. Jerome, please hand me that evidence.
But Your Honor, he was in a relationship with my mother when I was born, and he lived with us till I was 5 years old.
This is a copy of Ms. Boyer's birth certificate.
The reason there is another man on my birth certificate, Your Honor, is because my mother was married and separated,
And told me I was the father.
but because she was still married back 30 years ago, you had to put your husband on the birth certificate.
Mr. Sandifer, you were there when Tuesday was born,
Yes,
Ms.
Your
Boyer?
Honor.
Were you there again as a friend, or were you
No,
there
I was
because
there
you
as
thought
the
you were the
I
father?
raised her for 8 years till me and her mother separated. I paid child support religiously. Then this child would call me up and tell me there's no food in the house. Mama's gone. We don't know where she's at. Bring me some money or some food. I called my lawyer, Your Honor. She says, next visitation, Mr. Sandifer, pick your daughter up and don't take her back. I said, well, I'm liable to go to jail. She said, don't worry about that. I'll get you out. So we went to court. The judge gave her mother 3 opportunities to show up.
She never showed up to court, to the
Never
court
showed
date.
up.
And you were awarded full.
Yes, Your Honor.
After that entire legal battle, did you believe Ms. Boyer was your biological child?
Not really, Your Honor, because I still have doubts just because of the paperwork.
If you're not my dad, why did you fight for me?
Because
mean,
I
we-
love you and I manned up. Why did
I
you
went-
leave me
I
when
went
I
to my
already had
grandmother.
custody and go back to your mother? That's what I don't understand.
I didn't go to my mother.
You did?
I went to
Atlanta,
my brother.
to Georgia?
When I went to visit him, though, when he
You were
brought
at
me
your mother's.
back, I was 14 years old.
Right.
We pulled up to the house, and the house was abandoned. There was no one there. Everything was gone. You had moved to California. I found that out by going to my grandmother's house.
That's wrong.
So
That's
I
wrong.
went back to
I
Georgia
come
with
and
my
picked
brother.
your butt up Tuesday.
Yes, that was after I had been there for almost 2 years.
Yeah, well, you decided you thought things were better on the other side, living with her.
So,
I didn't want to
Ms.
move
Boyer,
to California.
ultimately, do you believe he abandoned you?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have
do.
never abandoned you.
Just tell me how you feel.
Your Honor,
What do you feel?
when I was 10, he got a divorce, and I was left
You
with my
quit
grandmother.
school on me.
I quit school because I had no one to sign me up for school because you wouldn't sign over rights, so someone could sign me
Why
up
should
for
I
school.
sign over my rights?
Well, how could I go to school if no one could register me? But Your Honor, when he had a woman that had children, I was in his life. When there was a woman without children, I was left at my grandmother's.
You're an adult now, Tuesday.
Yes, but I have 3 kids that need you. They don't have another grandparent
you
in their
know
life.
I'm there at least twice a week.
Yes,
At least.
but you don't do things with them like you used to.
I work. I'm so tired, I barely have time for myself. I spend as much time as I can. You can't say that I
Yes.
don't.
But their
We
other
just went to
grandparents,
Huntsville just last summer.
right, and they enjoyed that. But their
Carried them
other
to the Rocket
grandparents have
Center.
passed away, and they have no one else. They need you in their life. I need you in my life. I believe you are my dad, and that's why I want to prove it. I mean, the difference between me and Samantha, okay, is I'm 5'1". She's 5'10". I look like him. She doesn't. And I mean, there's a picture of me and him when I was a child. That was right after he got custody of me.
That's such a cute picture.
Thank you, Your Honor. May not have been the best dad in the world, but I tried my darndest. I worked my butt off so hard and tried to do things for y'all when I can and when I can afford it.
I don't have an education.
So pretty much, Ms. Boyer, you blame him
Yes, Your Honor.
because you feel like this relationship or lack of relationship caused you to drop out of school.
Yes, Your Honor.
What's the last grade you completed?
7th grade.
So you're suing him for the cost of a GED program because you believe he owes that to you.
Something
Yes,
I already
Honor.
paid for?
That way I can help my kids with their homework.
So you believe he owes you another GED test because the last time he paid for it, you were so distressed because of your relationship, you were not able to effectively study and pass. And that's why you're suing him
Yes, Your
today
Honor.
for that.
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm ready for the results. Jerome? Ms. Boyer, I will start with you. These results were prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Fields Boyer v. Sandifer, when it comes to 31-year-old Tuesday Boyer, it has been determined by this court, Mr. Sandifer, you are not her father.
Oh, wow.
You okay, sir? You need to take a seat?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm fine.
I was sure he was my father.
God almighty. Sorry, Your Honor.
My kids need a grandparent, so I've got to find.
You got one. You got a father still. You still got a father.
I would love for you to be in their life.
Mr. Sandifer, did you really want to be Ms. Boyer's father?
Yes, Your Honor.
I'm so sorry. Are you ready for the next result with Ms. Field?
I got you.
Yes, Your Honor.
These results were also prepared by DNA Diagnostics, and they read as follows. In the case of Fields Boyer v. Sandifer, when it comes to 25-year-old Samantha Fields, the court has determined Do you want to watch Paternity Court on TV? Go to paternitycourt.tv to find your local listings. In the case of Fields Boyer v. Sandifer, the court has determined, Mr. Sandifer, you are not her father.
I presumed Samantha wasn't, but I never thought Tuesday would have. I'm still here for you, girls. Anytime. And your children's too. I'm still their grandfather.
Ms. Boyer, the basis of your suit was that your father, the man that raised you, was responsible for providing you with an education. And unfortunately, I cannot award you any money for an additional test because there have been no facts presented that he was at all negligent. Your claim is denied.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Sandifer, you have indicated you will still be here for the girls and their children, and I think that's commendable.
Yes, Your Honor.
And ladies, take advantage of Mr. Sandifer's offer. Do the work and just help move forward. I think your dad could use a hug.
I'm sorry, girls. I'm so sorry.